Who is Pierre Omidyar, the richest tech tycoon of Iranian origin? How much wealth does he have compared to Ambani and Adani, and how was this story built? Take the name of a part of the world whose identity is tied to words like oil, gas, geopolitics, sanctions and war, and yet the greatest wealth connected to that same country does not belong to an oil baron, a member of a royal family, or a mineral businessman, but to a man who simply gave people an easy way to sell old things on the internet. At first glance, this story feels strange. The mind says that the greatest wealth linked to Iran must be in oil, but the truth is found behind a computer screen in the world of coding, trust, and online marketplaces. And this is where the curiosity begins. Who exactly is Pierre Omidyar? Why is he counted among the richest people of Iranian origin? And where does his wealth stand in front of Indian giants like Ambani and Adani? First of all, it is important to make one thing clear. Calling Pierre Omidyar, technically, the richest person living in Iran would not be completely accurate. He was born in France, is the son of Iranian parents, later grew up in America and made his name in the global tech world. So it would be more accurate to describe him as one of the richest tech entrepreneurs of Iranian origin, or, in the words of many recent reports, the wealthiest of Iranian descent. Forbes-linked reporting and recent media summaries also describe him in the same way. In other words, his story is less about the soil of Iran and more about Iranian heritage and global capitalism. Pierre Omidyar was born on the 21st of June 1967 in Paris. His parents had gone from Iran to France for higher studies. His mother was an academic associated with linguistics, and his father was a surgeon connected to the medical field. Later, the family moved to the United States, where his father took up a residency path linked to Johns Hopkins. According to Achievement Organization and other biographical sources, Pierre had started showing an interest in computers from childhood itself. This detail is not a small one, because many billionaire stories begin with inherited empires, but Omidyar's story begins with skill, code, and timing. He earned a degree in computer science from Tufts University in 1988. After that, he started working in the tech industry and was also associated with places like Apple subsidiary Claris. Later, he played a co-founding role in a venture called Ink Development, which later became eShop and was eventually acquired by Microsoft. This phase was very important because this is where he got his early understanding of software, products, and digital commerce. Many people consider eBay to be his first major success, but in reality, this professional groundwork before that became the runway for his entrepreneurial flight. Then came 1995. And this is where the story began that changed the habit of online buying and selling across the world. According to eBay's official history, over Labor Day weekend in 1995, Pierre Omidyar wrote code on his personal computer and launched AuctionWeb. This beginning was not like some grand corporate launch. There was no big funding, no giant office, no marketing blitz. It was a simple idea. Connect buyers and sellers in an honest and open marketplace. According to eBay's official history page, the first item sold on the site was a broken laser pointer. And that very story later became part of internet folklore. The broken laser pointer incident became a symbol for another reason too, because it gave Pierre Omidyar a major lesson. The internet is not just a place to share information, it can also become a place for trust-based commerce. If a person can even buy a broken thing, then that means the value of the platform is bigger than the product. That value is connection, discovery, and trust. And this became eBay's real strength. Later, eBay made online auctions and peer-to-peer commerce mainstream. According to Britannica, eBay was one of the early companies that effectively connected buyers and sellers on the internet through a structured marketplace. eBay's growth was not like that of a traditional retail chain. It was not an inventory-heavy business. It was a digital marketplace where network effects work. The more sellers come in, the more buyers will come. The more buyers come, the more sellers will join. This very compounding effect became the engine of Pierre Omidyar's fortune. In 1998, eBay's IPO happened, and with that, Pierre Omidyar and Jeffrey Skoll both became billionaires. This was one of the early big stories of the internet era that told the world that empires could be built from code too. The biggest source of Pierre Omidyar's wealth remained eBay, but the story does not end there. According to a Forbes profile snippet, he founded the online auction giant eBay in 1995, and even after stepping away from a board role in later years, continued making diversified investments. His wealth profile includes, along with tech holdings, resort properties in California and Mexico, as well as real estate development in Cabo San Lucas. That means this wealth is not being sustained just because of one website, but has also been shaped over time through investments and asset diversification. Now the biggest question, what is his net worth today? Recent March 2nd GRT reporting, which attributes the figure to Forbes tallies, puts Pierre Omidyar's net worth at around $12 billion. A Forbes search snippet shows him at number 262 in the 2026 billionaires list. Net worth keeps moving up and down every day with market movements, so the exact figure can change, but broadly, this is the range that appears in current public reporting. That is why many reports are presenting him as the richest person of Iranian origin. If this wealth is compared with India's biggest industrial titans, then the scale difference becomes very clear. According to a Forbes real-time profile snippet, around the 5th of April 2026, Mukesh Ambani's net worth was about $94 billion. Around the same date, Gautam Adani's net worth was shown at around $59 billion. From this comparison, it becomes easy to understand that Pierre Omidyar's wealth of around $12 billion comes to roughly 1/8 of Mukesh Ambani's wealth and about 1/5 of Gautam Adani's wealth. That means Pierre Omidyar is certainly extremely wealthy, but in front of Indian mega wealth figures like Ambani and Adani, his scale becomes quite small. But there is a deeper lesson in this comparison too. The wealth of Ambani and Adani has largely been built from energy, infrastructure, telecom, ports, retail, utilities, and industrial scale. Pierre Omidyar's wealth was built from internet trust and digital marketplaces. On one side are physical assets, national scale businesses, and capital heavy sectors. On the other side are platform economics, software, and global internet adoption. And this is one of the most interesting things about the 21st century. Sometimes a coding project, even if it begins smaller than a refinery, can still create world-class wealth. Pierre Omidyar was one of the early icons of this logic. Another major chapter in Pierre Omidyar's story is philanthropy. According to Omidyar Network's official profile, Pierre and Pam Omidyar are founding members of the Giving Pledge, and together they have already given more than $4 billion. This number is very large, and it places them in the category of billionaires who do not just accumulate wealth, but also invest in social systems through structured giving. The public letter tradition of the Giving Pledge also shows that he did not see wealth as just a matter of personal status. However, one factual nuance should be understood here too. Some news reports mention commitments of more than $1.5 billion for Omidyar Network or related social impact work, while Omidyar Network's own current profile says that the broader giving of Pierre and Pam is more than $4 billion. This means different reports may be measuring different scopes. Some perhaps only specific network investments, others broader philanthropic giving. So the safest interpretation is that his philanthropy footprint is on a multi-billion-dollar scale, and that it has been running in a structured fashion for a long time. Pierre Omidyar did not remain limited to writing charity chikus. He also showed a deep interest in media and journalism. In 2013, he launched First Look Media, and from this same ecosystem came platforms like The Intercept. According to reliable summaries, this venture was built to support original, independent journalism, with names like Glenn Greenwald, Laura Poitras, and Jeremy 𝐮𝐻𝐿. This clearly shows that Omidyar's interest was not limited only to profit-generating ventures. He also put money into the worlds of information, journalism, and civic discourse. Apart from this, in Hawaii too, his name remained linked with a civic journalism venture like Honolulu Civil Beat. Omidyar's broader public image has been that of a billionaire who, after entrepreneurial success, also invests money in public interest institutions. That is why his identity is not limited to just eBay founder. He is a tech entrepreneur, an investor, a philanthropist, and also a media patron. In the language of modern capitalism, it can be said that he also turned his wealth engine into an influence ecosystem. The angle of real estate and luxury hospitality investments has also made his wealth story interesting. According to a Forbes profile snippet and California Business Reporting, Pierre Omidyar funded entities have been linked with resort properties and hospitality assets. Even in high-end property transactions like Montage Laguna Beach, the name of an Omidyar funded investment vehicle has appeared. This does not mean that his core identity changed into that of a hotel magnate, but it certainly shows that he did not leave his wealth only in public stock holdings. Luxury real estate and resort assets have also been part of his portfolio. There is another interesting thing about Pierre Omidyar's personality. He does not seem like a flashy billionaire archetype. Many ultra-rich people are known through yachts, headlines, and flamboyance. Omidyar keeps a comparatively quieter profile. In his wealth story, there seems to be less showmanship and more systems thinking. Perhaps that is why, in the world of internet commerce, his name is not as pop culture heavy as Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, but his place in history remains very strong. He caught that early internet moment when the world was getting ready for trust-based online transactions. And on that same wave, he built a giant company like eBay. If seen in the context of Iran, Pierre Omidyar's story is symbolic for another reason too. The world often looks at the Middle East through the lens of oil wealth. But Omidyar reminds us that heritage is one thing, and the model of wealth creation is another. His origin is Iranian, but his fortune was built from technology, coding, platform trust, and venture investing. In this sense, he challenges oil-era imagery. He shows that in the 21st century, the greatest wealth is often built not under the ground but above the network. Coming back to the Ambani-Adani comparison, it is also important to understand that net worth numbers alone do not tell the full truth of the story. Ambani and Adani are symbols of India's domestic economic structure, infrastructure build-out, and national-scale sectors. Pierre Omidyar is a symbol of global internet commercialization. One comparison gives arithmetic, the other comparison tells the story of an era. Ambani and Adani are the story of industrial India. Omidyar is the story of digital globalization. And that is why, even though the net worth gap is large, at the level of historical influence, Pierre Omidyar's name is still taken among the foundational pioneers of the internet revolution. So, is Pierre Omidyar truly the richest man of Iran? If this sentence is read in a strict geographic sense, the answer becomes complicated, because he is not an Iran resident tycoon. But if you ask this question in the sense of the richest and globally successful tech billionaire of Iranian origin, then recent public reporting brings him forward in exactly that form. His current public net worth is being reported at around $12 billion. He is the founder of eBay. He has also left a major footprint in media and philanthropy. And even though his wealth is much smaller compared to Ambani and Adani, his story is still very big in global tech history. If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible. But in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.